All right, guys. Apologies for that. Um, where are we? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we are here. Okay. Apologies, guys, for that break in transmission. All right. Yeah. Hello, Joy. Yeah. Good to have you back. Yeah. So let's just continue from where we stopped. Let me share my screen. Okay. So please confirm you can now see my screen. Apologies for that. So let's just continue from where we stopped. So I was talking about customizing your CV, and I was sharing with us Raf's success story that because he made many changes to his resume to cover every element of the job ad. He was hired, and the recruiter told him that he has never seen such an excellent resume before. And of course, Raf won that role despite coming from the outside the industry. So, very important. All right. Market option, when your skills are extremely high. I also talked about this that this means that if your skill is in high demand, I was talking about database engineers in Nigeria, they are not that much. All right. If you are there, maybe you don't need to really customize because you are not that much. But for it, all data professionals, you are very it's very compulsory that you customize your CV. So meaning every role different CV, every role different CV. Thank God for AI, you can do that faster. In 3 minutes, you are done. Customize it. That is the way you can stand a better chance. Can you hear me now, guys? I hope you can hear me. Please confirm you can hear me now. So that's the only way you can stand a better chance of getting called for interviews. A great resume does more than ensure that you make it to the yes pile. It makes the employer want to meet you. I told you, with the analogy. Okay, thank you, Joy. With the analogy I told you about someone chasing you from behind with an harmful object. All right, and then okay, and then you get into the gate, and the gate man is telling you, why, where are you coming from? Have you ever passed through this gate before? Have you ever jumped a gate as high as this? The rate at which you respond to that question will very fast. You want to say yourself, I've jumped from Burj Khalifa before. There is a high rise building in Lekki. When something happened, I jumped. You just want to tell him or her or the gate man. You are focused on telling the gate man what he wants to hear, because you know what he wants to hear. What he wants to hear is that you have jumped something even higher. If you tell him you have jumped something, a gate that is at the same level with your gate, you might say, no, 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 are you sure this one is not higher? But if you say you have jumped a gate that is 3 times higher than this particular gate, there is no way he will not allow you. Say yes, you have the experience, you can pass, because you know something is chasing you. When I was talking about apply as if your life depended on it. Customize each role. Business intelligence. Data analyst in your role, data analyst. Business intelligence engineer in your CV, business intelligence engineer. Ensure each point. This I'm telling you, I was sharing with those I joined before that over if what it changed the game for me, because the last, I think, 2 3 weeks ago, about five interviews were laid down for me, and these are for senior roles. I'm talking about head of, you know, managerial head of data, the chief data officer of a company, which big roles. So this really helped me. So let's go to the next slide. Highlight relevant experiences. Highlight relevant experiences. You are a teacher. You are putting on a CV. Please, guys, give me 1 minute. Let me just quickly switch on. Oh, sorry, sorry. I didn't know I was muted. Thank you, Joy, for reminding me. Thank you so much. Okay, so I was talking about highlighting relevant experiences. I hope you can hear me now. I was talking about highlighting relevant experience. I didn't know I was muted. So, and I was saying, if you are a teacher, you are applying for a data analyst role. You are a teacher, you are currently, or maybe you have done teaching before. You don't need to include teaching role in your CV. You don't need that. All right. No one requires that for your data analyst role. So only highlight relevant experiences. Now, and I was now stating about, let's say, a condition where, okay, can you hear me now? Okay. And I was now talking about an experience where, let's say, you have 2 years of experience and you're applying for a role that requires for 4 years of experience, and you just joined data, you just pivoted to data in 2 years. So meaning, let's say, for example, your previous role was customer experience uh, representative, for example, and you want to apply. You don't want that 2 years of experience to waste. And let's say, for example, in that your customer experience role, you are using Excel to do pivot tables, you're using Excel to do, VLOOKUP and all that. That is a bit of analytics. So you can now structure that customer experience role and say customer experience analyst. Instead of saying customer experience representative, you are now saying customer experience analyst. Now, when you are now talking about analyst, now when you change that to analyst, what you are now going to be highlighting there is not, oh, I is not your customer experience representative role per se. You're talking about the core, because the core of that your customer experience representative role is you are meeting customers, you are ensuring that customer needs are met. But since you have changed it now because you want your 4 years to be complete to customer experience analyst, what you are going to be highlighting now is how you were doing those pivot tables to submit your report, how you were doing those pivot tables or VLOOKUPs to ensure that you submit an accurate report, and talk to your client and say, okay, this is the number of revenue you have, this is the number of items you are requested from us, and we've submitted them to them. So you are now relating that your customer experience representative role to your analytics role. So that way, your 2 years from customer experience representative as counted as part of the 2 years that you pivoted to data analytics. I hope you are following me now. All right, meaning that one has now been changed from customer experience representative to customer experience analyst. And then after 2 years that you spent in analytics is also counting. So meaning it makes 4 years. But it will be an undoing for yourself to keep it at customer experience representative because it's not relevant to your CV. All right. So it is very key. I could remember now my first role, one of my major role at the beginning of my career was more of compliance representative. But when I started my career, because in that role as well, I did some data science job, by the side, project by the side, using that company's data. And then, of course, I still did some analytics. I submit report, I do pivot tables, I do lookup, which is analytics. So I added that to my CV and changed that role from being just a customer compliance officer to compliance analyst. So that way it resonates with my analytics journey. So do you get it now? So it has to be relevant. All right. I won't spend more time there. Given the valuable real estate on page one, how much space should you devote to listing jobs? Uh, no, this okay. Wait. Include a brief 4 to 5 line table listing your most recent roles. This allows employers to see your relevant background while preserving space to sell your most recent roles. So say for example, stable structure 2020 to 2020 to present, senior data analyst, everything is structured to say data, not data teacher, data customer experience and customer service rep, clerk. No, no one will want to take such a CV serious. It has to be relevant. If there is nothing to match your previous role that is not data analyst together, I think it will just be better for you to leave it out. But if you've done something like use Excel in that role before to do some pivot table, basic analytics, then include it and then make it analytics role. Place this table under your profile summary, Yeah. You can also add something like this table structure, because we are talking about the 6 second rule. Instead of before you talk about your job experience, you can even have a table like this that quickly summarizes your analytics role, and ensure that if someone is applying with this role now, if someone that is applying for a particular role, the person should be applying, the person that has this kind of CV should be applying to a data scientist role. What does that mean? It means your JD should align, your CV should align with your CV, your current role should align with the current role being advertised on the JD. I hope that's clear. All right. I want us to finish here on slide 5. Honesty is the best policy. Avoid resume red flags. 75% of employers cut a lie on resume. This is very key. If you have package everything, the recruiters will know. Deliberate lying is obviously bad, but many people unintentionally cause recruiters to think they are lying. Common intentional lies. So let's look at some common intentional lies now. Remember, 75% of employers cut a lie on resume. So meaning for every resume you send out, for every person that sends out a resume, most times the 75% of the time recruiters will cut that lie. So what are the common lies? Claiming excellent attention to detail but having typos on incorrect dates. Ambit claims to numerous skills that don't match your work history. Say for example, someone is saying, I'm a cloud engineer. We are specific about data. This is a data professional CV. Someone is saying, I'm a cloud engineer. And everywhere you've worked is just data analyst, data analyst, data analyst. Where is that cloud engineer? And you are putting in your competencies, say cloud engineer, Azure, AWS, which other one? GCP, Google Cloud Platform. And we can't see where that matches any of your roles. So that is an obvious lie. People will know. Content that does not match interview persona. So you are sharing, for example, say for example, I think you should get what I'm saying. So maybe some roles that does not in any way relate to what you are sharing on your CV. So these are lies. You are seeing incorrect dates. There is no consistency of dates. Say for example, you said you in maybe at company A you spent 4 years, January to February, and then at company B you said you left company B in January, but the next company you went to is still showing that you started in January. That date is not consistent. They will know that this guy is keeping something. So be honest as you can and be aware. Self-awareness check. There's no point describing yourself as nuanced or influential if your communication style is as subtle as bulldozer. Ensure your CV accurately represents who you are. Someone is saying, I have great accurate communications. It should show on your CV. All right. So these things are very important. Culture fit matters. Showing you belong. Your recruiter already said, okay, these are, in every JD, you see the first line is company A, we are a company that is major on people skill. We ensure our staffs are well fed during lunch. Our core values are this. They stated that is not for fun. It's part of the JD. These things are key. Recruiters are also looking for that. This person, is he culture fit? Communicate culture fit. How can you show cultural fit on your resume? Ensure that you also communicate culture fit. Now, sector similarity. Many recruiters assume cultural fit if you have worked in similar sector. If your previous employers aren't well known, include a brief outline under each role to make sure your role connects. Use language that your target industry is comfortable with, and research job ads in your target sector to understand their terminology and values. So what does it mean? So meaning, ensure that you are you are applying to roles of similar sector. So for example, someone that is applying to a bank and is coming from a fintech will get hired faster than someone, or we has higher chances of being called for an interview compared to someone that is coming from, let's say, an insurance to a bank. So where you are coming from matters. All right. And if you don't have experience, in that particular sector you're going to, you can kind of, in a way, tailor a resume so that it's quite relevant to that sector. Language matters. Like we said, the tone of your language. Sorry, from your resume, you see the tone that your employer wants. Ensure you are there to that tone. All right, let's move very fast. Um, And you see, please don't forget it. 60% use your resume to assess cultural fit. So don't wait till that is going to be maybe after first stage or second stage before they will assess my resume for cultural fit. From the stage one, from your resume, it is always stated on that first part of the NEJD. They will say a company A, our company is a company, this is that is where culture fits in. Look at where they talked about their culture fit, what they believe in, and ensure it is communicated in your CV as well as a data professional. So for data professionals, this might mean, sorry, 1 minute. All right, for data professionals, this might mean um emphasizing different aspects of your work depending on the company and culture. Some value innovations, others value stability and reliability. All right. Soft skills. 60% of employers are specifically looking for soft skill. Soft skills, communication skills are very important. So whenever you are typing your CV, ensure that you are, very, very well communicated. Let's see that you can really communicate. So I'll give you an example. Please give me 1 minute. Sorry, I've been muted. I've been muted again. I've been speaking. Oh. Sorry. Thank you. So I was talking about communication skills. I was talking about communication skills. So I think I talked about this already. That this, if you communicate this way, developed and presented data-driven insights to executive leadership, resulting in 50% increase in marketing ROI. This is better than just doing numbers. So you are expected to show how to communicate. And leadership as well, use numbers, you know, say, okay, as leadership skills, I did this for a team by 20% and all that. For data professionals, highlight skills like this is how a data professional, a data analyst, data engineer, you should highlight your skills. Translating complex data into actionable insight. It shows your communication skills. Collaborating with cross-functional teams. It shows how you communicate. Storytelling with data. It shows how to communicate. And in this next slide, I've said I'm talking about communication skill. Yeah, where I'm saying 72% of resume errors came from miscommunication. So it's very important you pay attention to your resume. It is hard to know exactly what this means, but clarity is your best defense against miscommunication. So ensure you are clear. Let's use an example now. Examine similar job ads on portals like Seek. Okay, these are just examples. So for data professionals, this means using specific technical terms, Python, SQL. Now that I'm proficient in two tools, I'm proficient in Python, SQL, and you also show projects where you have where you are, you know, what that you've done with that particular software or with that particular tool. Your best option is of course clarity, you know, quantifying your impact with metrics. All right, I am trying to be a bit fast so that we can 16%, I can share with you this link. 16% of employers want a resume to contain links to personal blogs, portfolio, or website. How will you be sending out a CV and you don't have link to your LinkedIn, to your GitHub, to your personal website? Just no. They want to also see externally what you've done. Share GitHub, share LinkedIn. These are like testament to the fact that yes, you've done a great job. So ensure your CV has, you know, link to your LinkedIn, to your portfolio, to your partner blogs, or something that can, you know, help drive or authenticate what you said you can do. All right. This is a growing trend, particularly for data professionals who can showcase projects, code repositories of data visualization. So you've built a dashboard, you can use Canva. There are a lot of tools, research about them that you can use to create a portfolio for yourself. Let that portfolio be very good. Put very nice dashboards. For some of us here, Joy and the rest, you've done some dashboard like that is a dashboard. Put it there. You know, the Power BI dashboard I told us to build it well, customize it to your own as well, make it very nice, put it there, share it, create a portfolio with Canva or any other tool that people are using now currently. I'm not really familiar with it. Put it there and share the link on your CV. All right. Always include your LinkedIn profile, any other portfolio, GitHub, Kaggle, you know, anyone you have. Caution with personal content. Personal blogs and websites are more dangerous. Ensure your tone matches the culture of the targets. Balance selling against humility. All right. For data professionals, GitHub repo with well documented code, Tableau, you know, you should have a GitHub. If you have done any project on Python and SQL, then you should have a GitHub repository. All right. If it looks like you have got tickets on yourself, it could work against you, particularly in culture. All right. So that's just to tell us that ensure you always add your, you know, link to your portfolio. Very key. Before I take questions now, I think we have just one more slide. Yeah, great. 69% of resume errors involve missing accomplishment. Right? Missing what? Accomplishment. You have to ensure that you put your accomplishment there. I rarely see accomplishment on resumes, let alone title written and targeted ones. So you are sending out, before you send out any resume, I know someone will be like, wow, so CV is a lot. Oh. It's not even just I have a CV, I have two CVs, that's all. No, every role, different CV based on the JD, based on the major things we've mentioned so far. All right, and mention accomplishment. Now, say for example, let me give you for example. Now you've built a dashboard, fine, and you can tell me, I want someone now to tell me which one is better. I built a dashboard for my department that has helped us to increase efficiency by 30%. Now, let me say the other one, the other version. I built a dashboard for my department that has helped us increase efficiency by 20%. And this dashboard is one of its kind. It has never happened before. This is like the maiden edition. Which one is more convincing? Now, you want to agree with me that the second one is more convincing because you are doing something that is special, that is first of its kind. No one has done that kind of thing before. It makes your work, it makes it more of like an accomplishment. It's something big. All right. So that's what accomplishment does to your CV. It makes the recruiter want to check further. Specify an action you took at work using the past tense. Finish the results of that action and quantify where possible. So look at the example now. I think we've talked about this. Never, never, never again. Never prepare a report, prepare a CV, and in your particular role, let's say your first role, second role, any of your roles you are mentioning, never and never leave it without quantifying it. 18%, 10%, 15%, quantify. Data processing, saving 10 hours per week, quantify. You can see this 10 hours is quantification. You did a report, you automated a process, it saves 10 hours. That's quantification. You build an interactive dashboard that has increased decision making by 25%. Quantify it. It's very important. You can never submit a CV without quantification of every of your roles. Please, let's take note of that. And the last slide. Please don't forget this last statement. Never. Your CV is your marketing document. Make every word count, especially on the first page. I repeat, your CV is your marketing document. Make every word count, especially on the first page. So every word on your first page must count. Never forget the 6-second rule. Recruiter has an average of 6-second rule to check your what? Your CV. I've also mentioned to you today the game changer for me, all right, which are ensuring that every job comes with a different CV, no generalized CV. Role name, I'm applying for data analyst. If my current role is business intelligence analyst, when I'm sending out my CV for that application of data analyst, I'm changing that business intelligence analyst to what? To data analyst. All these things are very key. I'm removing the roles that are not relevant, and if the role is quite a bit relevant but not fully relevant, I'm customizing it to ensure that it carries relevant name in the analytics space or in the engineering data engineering space or in the data science space. Very key. So let me just reiterate these key points and we go. And then we take questions. One, focus on achievement, not responsibilities. Customize each application. Ensure this is key. This is each application, customize it. Showcase relevant technical and soft skills. All right. And the last thing will be quantify your impact with metrics. Ensure you show numbers. Include links. Use industry specific terminology appropriately. So let me give you an example now of industry specific terminology. Now, if you're applying for, let's say, technical telecommunications, MTN, Glo, and all that, there's something that is specific to them, something like MSISDN. Now, a lot of you don't even know MSISDN now, but using that, your MSISDN is your what? Is your phone number. But in telecommunications, it is called MSISDN. So imagine using that terminology when you are applying to a telecom company. It makes your chances higher because you use terminology. You are in the oil and gas, for example. In oil and gas, they talk about JV, DW. What is JV? Joint venture, deep water assets, and all that. Those are terminologies of oil and gas. If you are applying for oil and gas, and ensure you are using these terminologies to communicate on your CV because recruiters will be looking forward to this. All right. And the last thing here is highlight both technical expertise and business impact. All right. So that is it. I hope this session has been a great blessing. And I want to believe, and I'm sure, I'm not in doubt, I'm 100% sure that if you apply all that has been stated in this session, you are going to have a very positive experience. Even before the end of the year, you might be shocked you are going to be getting 3, 4, 5 call ups. All right. So, and then of course, if you don't have enough projects, if you don't have enough achievements, it's going to hinder your chances. So meaning build, keep building so that you can have something to share on your CV. Keep building so that you can have something to share. If you are not building, you have nothing to share. So but if you have built a lot of work, if you have worked on a lot of things, you will have something to share to your audience. I hope this has been a great impact to us. Okay, let me take the questions now. You can drop your questions. You can drop your questions. I think Joy asked the question before now that must my CV be 2 pages? I remember. Now, it's not as if it must be 2 pages, but at this level, I want to believe in the data analytics space, you've not spent up to, yeah, there is a recording. Please, sir, is there a recording video for this? Yeah, the video is being recorded. Yeah, there's a recording. Yeah, it's going to be posted. If that, let me know if that's what you mean. Adile Yadepoju. All right. So, back to Joy's question. Now, it's not as if you should have it. It stated that it must be 2 pages. But at this level of your experience in terms of in the data analytics space, it should not be past. It should not pass 2 pages. My own is 2 pages. As is, so the only thing I told you is you can use 11 as your font or 10. 10 is font size. 10 or 11 is fine. Okay, yeah, Tony, yeah, it's going to be available. It's going to be available. So as I was saying, it's going to be available. You cannot tell me I have about 8 years of experience and my CV is just 2 pages. So if you have less than 8 years, if you have less than 10 years of experience and you are still having more than 2 pages, there's no need for it. People that should have maybe more than 2 pages should be researchers. Someone that is doing, of course. So you add the link. I'll get there. Okay, Adepoju. So people that should be doing more than 2 pages should be people that have that are working on projects. What do they call this PhD project people? Dissertations. Those are people that should have maybe 3 pages, 4 pages on as a CV. But as a data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, your CV should not pass 2 pages. Never forget the 6 second rule. Average recruiters spend about 6 seconds reviewing a CV, and most times they even use 8 years. So imagine you are spending very minimal time on spending 6 seconds and you are sharing 3 pages for what? 3 pages is enough. Remember the last rule I shared there. Eh? Your CV is your marketing document, especially on the first page. Everything, your profile summary, your job. So meaning profile summary, immediately go to your job experiences. If you don't have much on job experiences, you can use profile summary, your projects, highlighting them, the wins, how strong they are. And then in your profile summary, you can always tweak it to, based on the company culture you've seen in the JD. Every job, like I said, comes with, this is what we stand for in our company. Let your profile summary communicate that. Be so intentional about it so that someone that is reading it, I made an example with Victor Okafor, telling the company that you are going to increase their revenue by 20% if they give you the chance to join. The company want to ask, who is this person? And what does that mean? It means you are going for the next stage. And you can be as good as anything, and you know that was affecting me few months ago. All right, so yeah, that's what I can say. I hope it's been a blessing. Okay, let me go to the next question. The next question is, okay, please, recording. Okay, the recording will be available. Adeleye is saying, can I put my project on my CV? Of course, you can put your project on your CV, but ensure, even aside that, just communicate the wins alone and put a link to your, you should have a portfolio that it has a link to your portfolio for them to further check for the codes and everything. But on your CV, if you don't have much experience in digital analysis space, you can just put in your what's it called now? Put in your wins, major wins, ensure it's solid, and put the link there. All right. Any other question before we call it a day? I think it's been a very great session. I want to believe we've learned a lot. All right. If there is no other question, okay, yeah. If there's no other question, the recording will be available for us. Yeah, but I want to assure us that please take time to go through the recording again, and then take time to ensure you make use of everything that has been discussed there. And I bet you, if you start doing that from next week, and you, of course, remember, without any project, without concrete work, your CV is blank. So, and of course, you keep building so that you can share valuable experiences, valuable project on your CV. Before December, you'll be rejecting interview calls. It was a game changer. I was thinking the guy was playing then when he told me, but when he started working for me, I said, "Sir, this is a great game changer. You can literally predict a job that will call you." All right, I think that's it. If you have further questions, you can ask me on the group. You can drop it. If you are just joining us, you can just ask those questions. Thank you so much for joining. See you on the next one. Bye, guys.